Hi guys, for women's patrons I chose Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney. I chose a sculpture titled Head of a Spanish Peasant by Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney depicting her studio assistant Adolphe Ramon that sits on a marble base. It measures 14 inches height by 7.5 in width by 7 inches in dimension. The sculpture has almost perfect features, and the gaze on his face is one of being somber by the way he is looking down. The detail of his facial features that are smooth from his forehead down to his neck give an image of a man of strength, and the bandana holding his hair back to catch the sweat from hard work so there's no interruption while completing whatever task is at hand. The overall look on the face of the sculpture is one of being a subservient and loyal worker that would never question his employer's wishes. The skill and technique of creating such an amazing piece, making it look realistic, is one of perfection. Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, born January 9, 1875, in Manhattan, New York, died April 18th in 1942 in Manhattan, New York, of heart complications. She was Dutch-American, the daughter of Cornelius Vanderbilt II and Alice Claypool Gwynn, and great-granddaughter of Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt, a banker, investor, and philanthropist. Gertrude Vanderbilt was born into riches and privilege. The Vanderbilt family had made a fortune in shipping and railroads, and she was one of the wealthiest women of her age from early on. Gertrude was an American sculptor, art patron, collector, and founder of the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City, New York. Gertrude Vanderbilt and Harry Payne Whitney had known each other since childhood, and they were married August 25, 1896. Gertrude was 21 years old. Not too long after marriage and children, Whitney realized the life of a society woman, because of the Vanderbilt name, along with being a wife and mother, was not satisfying for her. She wanted more. At a young age, Gertrude was interested in sculpting but never pursued any type of training. Now, with not being content in her life, she finally decided to take formal classes, traveling to Paris. She mainly did this for emotional and professional fulfillment as a way to define herself apart from her money and Vanderbilt name. Whitney rose to prominence first as a speaker in 1910 when she created the monument, the Titanic Memorial in Washington, D.C. The resulting statue may have been an inspiration for a famous scene in the movie Titanic. At her studio in Greenwich Village, New York, she met a few young aspiring artists who were trying to become the next American artist, but they were having no luck getting their work noticed until they met Gertrude. She bought many of their artworks because of their troubles and opened a studio in the same building next to her work studio in 1914. Whitney had accumulated a collection of over 500 works of art by the late 1920s. She believed American modernists deserved greater recognition. Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney was one of the 5 artists whose work shaped American art historical canon.